Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the RacingBet Preview. I'm your host, Tim Geers, joined by Trent Crebbin, who is back in Adelaide this week. Trent, how's things?
Yeah, not too bad. Just back for over the break, Christmas, see family. Yeah, it's good. So a little bit of a different setup today. So lighting and everything's not 100% as normal.
You're in the closet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the closet. I've been banished, but that won't stop us finding any winners, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll do our best anyway. What's the weather like in Adelaide? You might be copying exactly what we've had in Perth, which is 39 degrees and rain the last 2 days, basically. A little bit of rain.
It's nice. It's better than Melbourne. Melbourne's been freezing, so yeah, it's good here. I think it's 30 a week, so perfect.
Yeah, we've gone through a few real hot, muggy days, but clearing up a little bit for the weekend. We're at about 23 degrees for racing at Ascot on Saturday, which is headlined by the listed Towton Cup. Of course, the 3 Group 1s are over, but we build towards the Perth Cup, which is on New Year's Day this year, or next year, I should say. So, yeah, we've got the Towton this weekend. We've got the ATA Stakes in next weekend, I think. So we build towards the Group 2 Perth Cup. Over at Flemington, you're back to headquarters. You're looking forward to returning there after a couple of weeks out in the bush.
Yeah, we've been Pakenham, Cranbourne, Ballarat. We had a good week last week at Pakenham though, so that was okay. But back to Flemington's never a negative, is it?
No, and you must be congratulated for a good week at Pakenham because that is notoriously tough meeting to bet at. What's doing tomorrow night in Victoria? Dual meetings, Moonee Valley, Cranbourne. What's the go with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they're trialing 2 meetings. I've had a look at both the cards. Obviously the Moonee Valley one's the stronger one, being in the city, but it seems a little bit odd to me, really, to schedule. I mean, you could have had one on Thursday night instead. I'm not really sure why they've done that, but we'll see how it goes. At least you've got plenty to watch tomorrow night.
Wagering, probably Friday night.
Yeah, that'd be it.
After the test match, everyone wants to punt, I suppose. All right, we thank tab.com.au for sponsoring this week's episode. Their continued support is much appreciated. We'll be using the tab odds, and if you are having a bet this weekend, make sure you jump on tab.com.au. Okay, we'll be taking you through our best bets for both Flemington and Ascot. We'll take a look at the listed Towton Cup as well. As I said, as we build towards the Perth Cup, we'll have a small look at that. Hopefully, Trent, you've got a couple of winners because I really struggled with this weekend's Ascot card. Just a lot of kind of tricky races, and there's a couple of standout horses on the meeting, but they're just prohibitive odds. We've got the likes of God Has Chosen going around again. He's around $1.75. We've got Pro Consent at about $1.85. So they basically wipe out 2 races. And then the remainder of the races I found pretty difficult to really find any standouts, but I'll do my best regardless. How did you kind of find Flemington?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It is a little bit tricky. There's quite a few open races, especially later in the card. I did find it quite open, but I think there's a couple earlier in the card at a bit of value as well that we can find. So hopefully it plays true as Flemington normally does, and we'll hopefully find a couple and land one at nice odds.
All right, and if whatever you are watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to our channel so you never miss anything. If you're watching on Facebook, do us a favor and like our page. And if you're watching us on Twitter, hopefully you've already followed us. Every little bit helps. And we, once again, thank you for tuning in live. If you've got any thoughts throughout the show, any tips you want to throw out, any horses you want us to answer any questions about, or just any punting thoughts at all, make sure you hit them in the comments. They'll show up on our end. We can feature them as the show goes on and hopefully do our best to answer them as well. All right, Trent, we'll kick off with you at Flemington, and your best is going to come up in race number 6. You're with horse number 2, Lighthouse, currently $2.40 with tab.com.au. Back-to-back wins this preparation for Kieran Maher and David Eustace, and we've got Matt Cartwright, the apprentice, taking the ride here.
Yeah, so she's an American import, this girl. She won first up on a very heavy track and did it in really good time at Kyneton on a pretty strong race in a benchmark 84. Then went to Ballarat last start on Ballarat Cup Day, stepped up to the 1,400 metres, got a nice run in transit, but it was a dominant win, as you can see here. She's the grey mare. She really doesn't get out of second gear. She does it quite comfortably in the end. You see the horse that flashes home late for second is Frankie Pino, who came out and won on Pakenham Cup Day. I don't think this race is too much tougher. It's a slight step up in grade to a handicap, so she does go up a little bit in weight, but I thought she did that quite comfortably and could have put another length on them there if she wanted to. So I think she's quite progressive. She gets another lovely map from Barrier 5. Maddie Cartwright, I think, rode her last start as well and rode her perfectly. So that looks to be a good booking again. And I think she's got more upside than most of these. And, she gets in with a decent weight after the claim. So going to be really hard to beat, even with the step up in grade. I think she's clearly the one to beat here.
All right, very good. Race 6, number 2. We'll go to Ascot for my best bet of the day, and then we'll return to you, Trent, to find us one at odds. Look, I found this pretty difficult, not going to lie. As I said, there's a couple of races basically ruled out by standout horses, just come up too short to really have a good crack at. But I've ended up going with race number 1 on the card as my best bet. Race 1, number 4, Queen of Soul. This is a mare trained by, that's the word I was looking for, trained by Simon Miller, ridden by Patrick Carberry. I was struggling there for a second. She was pretty good first up at Belmont. This is her winning first up. This was only a Class 1 for fillies and mares. If I can get this up. And you can see her just about 3 from the outside, coming through with the red sleeves and the yellow there on the sleeves, chopping down the leader here. I thought this was a pretty good effort. Like I said, this is only a Class 1 for fillies and mares, and she does now step up to Saturday grade in a West Speed Platinum race. But to be completely honest, these West Speed Platinum races aren't great races. They're not very deep form references. I know they're on a Saturday, but they're not much stronger most of the time than midweek races. So I thought this was a pretty good stepping stone for her. The horse she beat there was Ambergate Rose, who then came out last Sunday and won at Pinjarra. So the form gets a little bit of a tick there. And like I said, I just think, Simon Miller, his stable is always flying. Draws well in barrier 3, and I thought this was a very winnable race. There's some little query about the fact she won first up last preparation and then failed second up, which was actually also in a West Speed Platinum race. But just gonna trust the stable to have her right here. And from the good draw, like I said, she's going to get a firm track, which she likes. And I thought if she performed to her best, she was probably the horse to beat in this race. I think the danger, unlike what the market's probably got at the moment, is actually Safety Bay, which is currently $5.50, horse number 3. From barrier 1, you would think Bo Banovic Edwards would kick up and lead. She led all the way to win a Class 3 at Ascot over 1,400 metres 2 starts ago, then sat outside the leader last start and finished 4th. I thought if she could find the lead and get things kind of her own way, she'd be pretty tough to run down on a track that's going to be pretty firm, given the hot weather we've had. And the rail in the true position tends to kind of favour those horses on speed. So those were the two I was kind of looking at backing. Lacevinsky's been racing well in Narrogin and Albany, I should say, but he does have to carry the full 60 kilos here. And if you look at the two horses next in the weights, they've both got 3 kilo claimers on. So basically he's carrying 4 kilos more than any other horse in the race. So I was happy to kind of avoid him. Standout Rose, I've got some queries as to where she's going to get on the map. And other than that, Chicks Flick and Looks Not Everything and Petite La Femme and Western Rhythm, pretty happy to oppose them. Western Rhythm I was on for a good result first up and it should have won. That was a Class 3 at Belmont. Pike just kind of got into all sorts of trouble, flashed home, should have won. Clint Johnston Porter goes on this week. So it's just a horse that's kind of hard to trust, she is. So I'm going to just steer her around her, given that the market's currently got her basically as equal favourite. So I'm rambling on a bit now, but I'll make my best bet of the day at Ascot. Race 1, number 4, Queen of Soul, and I'll save on number 3, Safety Bay. All right, Trent, find us something at odds at Flemington. Your best value of the day is race number 7, horse number 2, Sartorial Splendour.
Yes, you're getting $6.50 for Sartorial Splendour. It's not a huge price, but I do think he's a really good winning chance first up here. He's just a really fast horse, this guy. 1,000 meters is his bread and butter. He goes really well fresh. He's only missed the top 2 once when he's first up. Like I said, loves the 1,000 meters, and he's won over this track and distance as well down the straight, beating Hal Vorsen, who he meets here again. Worse at the weights, but it's only over 1,000 meters. I'm not too concerned about that. Draws out wide, which I like for him because I think he's a horse that just appreciates being able to do his own thing. So he can just D can just plot a course to wherever he has the most space, and he's just going to take a lot of running down if he can rate him correctly. If he manages to pinch a couple of half decent sections through the middle, he's going to take a lot of running down. So $6.50 I thought was a backable price for just an out and out speed demon over the 1,000 meters and one that's going to be there until when the whips are cracking.
All right, very good. At Ascot, in terms of a value bet, I've got just about nothing. I found it really difficult to find one at odds to give a strong push to. There are a couple at good odds that I think can go well, but once again, they're in races dominated by short price favourites, which are hard to tip against. But race 3, number 5, Agent Kensington, he's currently an $11 chance, and I thought would be tough to beat. Lou Luciani's stable. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments that are coming through. Race 3, number 5, Agent Kensington. Go back and watch its replay last start. Basically was held up the majority of the straight. Chris Parnham rode it on that occasion, and he never hit it once with the whip. Still ran 4th. I thought it was a really good effort. Drawn well. Chris Parnham retains the ride. I thought it could go well at $11, but I do concede the favourite Beads looks to find a really nice race. And then race 5, number 9, Red Publishers, currently a $21 chance. Now, this race is dominated by Pro Consent, who's $1.85 and probably wins again. But Red Publishers down to a rating of 72, which is as low as he's been in years, just about. He finds a 72 rated race, so he carries the minimum of 54 kilos. He actually ran home in the fastest final 200 of the race last start, I think. And I think he's creeping down in the rating points, could give some cheek from barrier 2. This is a horse who normally draws barrier 15, 15, 15, 15, but he comes up with barrier 2 for a nice run this week. And like I said, down in the ratings, down in the weights, and he's been running home in good splits. So I thought he could give a little bit of cheek and potentially run a place around $21, race 5, number 9. They're two that I think can go well at odds, but like I said, they bump into a couple of favourites who look very hard to beat in their respective races. All right, comment coming through from Bloidstar69 says, "How do you rate Royal Mile chances?" Now, Trent, as you just said, I think that's one for you because there's not a horse called Royal Mile racing at Ascot. What race is this in at Flemington?
Flemington race 8. That's horse number 1, Royal Mile. He's a South Australian horse, actually.
Trained by Lee Creek. Yes,
Lee Creek. Went on a bit of a winning streak last prep. Won a Port Adelaide Guineas and then ran quite well in an SA Derby as well. Look, he's going really well this prep. He actually raced at Caulfield last start, and I was with him there. He led, and I think you could make the case that he went a bit too slowly out in front. Jacob Opperman was riding there, rides him here again. He's got a good association with the horse. Look, I thought he ran okay. He ran 4th there, beaten just under a length by Regalo Di Gaetano, another South Australian. He gets up in the weights here, which is a bit of a query, and draws wide, but I think he'll roll forward again. I thought he was potentially the horse to beat. Again, this is a slightly easier race, back to benchmark 84 level. But it's a very open race. He's $5.50 the favourite, and then you've got the likes of Sign of Asuri, again, another South Australian. They seem to be dominating these races. He was only, just behind Regalo Di Gaetano, the start prior at Morphettville as well. So that ties in pretty easily. Maybe going to get back from barrier 12 with the apprentice book, just a little bit of a query. The other one I thought that would run well is Just Benjamin. Dead heated with Silent Sovereign at Ballarat last start, over 2,000 in a benchmark 84. That was a pretty strong race. Gets another really good map here. Small query dropping back to 1,800, but I thought he would be a good chance as well. So I'd probably have Royal Mile just on top from Just Benjamin. You could probably back both at $5.50 and $9 or so. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, it's a very open race, but I think he's one of the key chances.
Very good. If you've got any other questions about any other runners, continue to send them through and we'll do our best to answer them. So let's get on to the Towton Cup this weekend at Ascot. Of course, the feature race, listed race over 2,200 metres as we build towards the Perth Cup. A lot of these runners in this field will be lining up in the Perth Cup. So it's kind of like a mini Perth Cup. And then we're going to have the ATA Stakes next weekend, I think, which, again, you'll find a few horses running that and then back up into the Perth Cup. Where do we start? I suppose we'll show the replay of the JRA Cup, which was last weekend, or the weekend before. This is a race won by Maricino. Now, look out the back in the cerise and white. That's William Pike on Midnight Blues, the $1.65 favourite, and he just finds all sorts of trouble. Maricino went back to his best. Sean McGrady jumped on for the first time, rode him positively, as he tends to do, and just gave him an absolute peach to get him home here, Maricino. He just loves his track and distance, 2 from 2. He's had 4 starts at the distance for 3 wins now and a 3rd placing, but yeah, like I said, Midnight Blue was the hard luck story there. I would think he would be the horse to beat here, Midnight Blue, horse number 7. He's currently $3.50. I thought that was probably a backable price, but I do concede that this is a race with several chances. You've got the stablemate Pure Devotion, who's won her past 3, steps up in class from a 68-plus rater into listed company for the first time, drops from 60 kilos down to the minimum of 54. Drawn awkwardly in Barry 10, likely to get back. Clint Johnson Porter rides. She's obviously a chance. You have to respect anything that these connections put in these races. But I thought of the prices, Midnight Blue. Like I was a little bit surprised that Midnight Blue wasn't the favourite and that Pure Devotion was. It's a bit of a trap, these sorts of races, because you want to win them, but you don't necessarily want to win and cop the penalty for the Perth Cup. So it's a tricky race for connections to figure out what they're going to do in it. But you look at a Trap for Fools up the top there. Amazingly, he's had 6 starts at this track and distance for 5 wins. Some sort of record. But the concern with him is whether he wants to be a racehorse or not. Brad Rawiller rode him first up in the Kingston Town Classic. Now, he's never going to win that race. But Brad got off him and basically said, I was a little bit concerned with his attitude. So, which, suggests to me that he doesn't really want to be a racehorse. Barrier 1, 62 kilos. You would think he would lead. Gives a nice bunny to Maricino to chase. He should just get a charmed run again from Barrier 5, chasing Trap for Fools. He looks a really good chance once again, but has to meet a couple of these worse at the weights for that JRA Trophy victory. Midnight Blue I've spoken about, comes into Barrier 4, looks to get just a beautiful run for Patrick Carberry, who of course won the Kingston Town for these connections last weekend on Regal Power. Bad Wolf runs second to Maricino in the JRA Trophy, carries 54 once again, will run an honest race. The little one from left field could be Black Shadow, who won a 66 rated race last weekend over this track and distance and did it in some sort of style. It was a terrific ride from Black de Romilly. He's replaced by Jason Brown today. Barrier 2, he'll probably be happy to take a sit behind the likes of Trap for Fools. And he's another one with a great record at this track and distance. 6 starts, 2 wins, 3 minor placings. He's kind of the horse that, although he's had 45 starts, is somewhat on an upward spiral this preparation. So at $12, I'd definitely be throwing him in your numbers. And Pure Devotion I've spoken about. Horse number 14, Stafford's Lads, a $21 chance. I'll be throwing him in everything. His run in the JRA Trophy was a belter. The problem is he's drawn Barrier 14 here, so he's going to end up in a pretty similar spot. But he hit the line really well in that race behind Maricino and Bad Wolf. So he'll run a good race once again. It's just how much of a start he's going to give away. So, from a betting point of view, I'd probably be backing Midnight Blue here. Probably saving on Maricino. Lulu Ciani's stable is just flying at the moment, and this horse is just basically going to get the same run as he did last start. He does concede a little bit of weight to those that he beat, but yeah, he's fit, rock hard fit now. 4 runs back into a spell, back into a preparation, and like I said, he flies over this track and distance. So yeah, it's going to be a terrific race and give us hopefully a few pointers towards the Perth Cup on New Year's Day. Trent, I don't suppose you have any thoughts on the Towton Cup?
No, not particularly. I just wanted to note that the horse Midnight Blue started at $1.75 in that race as well, and now you get, and probably should have gone close to winning, and now you're getting $3.40, $3.30. So
and carries a kilo and a half less.
Yeah, just off that SP, which is something I look at quite heavily. You're getting a much better price this start, so that'd be the way I'd lean.
Very much so. Look, one part of me hopes Maricino wins, but I do think he's a very good chance once again. Like I said, gets a good run. I'd be saving on Maricino, but I think Midnight Blue's the better horse than Pure Devotion. That's what my gut tells me, and certainly going to get a better run than Pure Devotion. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting race heading towards the Perth Cup. All right, any other thoughts on the Flemington card?
We already covered the feature, which was Sartorial Splendor. That's the Kensington Stakes. quick bit of trivia for you. Can you remember who won that race last year? 1,000 meters, Kensington Stakes.
1,000 meters Kensington Stakes at Flemington. Don't give it away. Is it a WA horse?
Yeah.
It is. Fabigino.
Of course, Fabigino. And we're all on it that day. I think the whole RacingBet Twitter, every man and his dog was on her that day, and she duly saluted with, I think she carried about 60 kilos, And now her little brother's doing some good things as well, so there you go.
Yeah, little brother's set to go around next weekend in the 4-year-old, don't know what the race is called, but it's a 4-year-old West Speed Platinum race. 1,200 metres, no white flag, his name is, of course. He won the West Speed Platinum final over 1,400 metres last weekend, I think, the weekend before. So, he'll go around again over 1,200 metres next weekend, I believe. And, excited to see him again. I don't think he's a 1,400 metre horse. Like, he won that 1,400 metre race, but I don't think he's a 1,400 metre horse at all. I think he was just better than them, but like I said, those West Speed Platinum races can kind of be a little bit deceiving with the strength of the form. But he's a nice horse. He's a very nice horse, and looking forward to seeing him go around next weekend in a good prize money race. A lot of those machinos, it's funny how many of those machinos race like that. Like, they just
need the front.
Need the front, or just need to be in a rhythm kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, he was you saw 2 starts ago when he missed the start, and he did, how many times have we seen Fabigino miss the start and their race is over? I remember that Group 1 at Moonee Valley. I can't remember which one it was. The Moya,
she missed the start, and it was just
all over.
Horrible. She never looked comfortable for a second when she missed the start.
And her little brother's the same. So, anyway, it gives us something to look forward to next weekend. A couple of nice races. All right, anything else around Australia? I've put out 3 bets in our premium Discord group. It's been a little bit of a quiet week in our Discord group, but those weeks happen. We're not trying to force bets. So we had a couple of good results at Happy Valley last night. We had a painful result at Happy Valley last night where Zach was basically in front before and after the line and not on the line. But
was that the one that J-Mac knocked him off?
Nah, he had 4 rides. Well, they all had 4 rides in the International Jockeys Championship. Zach ran second, and third, and the 3 seconds were all photo finishes. So he still won. He still won with the jockeys. And he still won, without riding a winner. So he can just add another watch and a cool $80,000 to his ever-growing bank account. I'm sure he needs it. Yeah. And it was great. It was great viewing, though.
Yeah. Also, Hong Kong International Race Day, is it this Sunday?
This Sunday, it's a good point by you, Trent. Hong Kong International Races this Sunday. Of course, we've got Hong Kong Sprint, the Hong Kong Mile, the Hong Kong Cup, and the Hong Kong Vase at Sha Tin. So we'll be covering all of those, of course. Golden 60 going around. What's that?
My early tip, there's a Japanese horse in the Cup called Loves Only You. It'll be very hard to beat. I think she's come up favourite, but she's a Japanese horse coming off a win in the Breeders' Cup or Breeders' Cup turf or something.
Who trains her?
Someone Yahagi. Not sure.
Oh, yeah. Same bloke who trained Ligue Rocher.
Okay, yeah. The big, very, very handy man. I think she'll be very hard to beat.
Yeah, so we've got, let me just pull them up. Yeah, so race 4 at Sha Tin will be the Hong Kong Vase, the Group 1. We've got Pile Driver, Glory Vase. Those races, Mogul, trained by Aidan O'Brien, those races are typically dominated by the Europeans because Hong Kong doesn't have many staying horses or staying races. Race number 5, we've got the Hong Kong Sprint. 12 runners going around there. The market currently headed by Pixie Knight, another Japanese horse. They look to have a mortgage on this race day. They typically do. Race 7 is the Hong Kong Mile, which is obviously Golden 60, currently $1.60 to make it 19 wins from 20 starts. And then race number 8 is the Hong Kong Cup, the big one, worth a cool about 5 million Australian. And that's where your selection's going around, is it? Loves Only You, horse number 12, currently $2.60. Yes, yep. Mr. Yahagi.
My early tip, but I'll leave the form to you when you get stuck into it, and we'll see if we agree. Hopefully so. Yeah,
well, he does. Yeah, the Japanese, they look to have an absolute mortgage on it.
Yeah, got some handy horses. Yeah, so hopefully Golden 60 can fly the Hong Kong flag and get the job done there and record his
Yeah, we'll have
13th
it all.
or 14th straight or whatever it is.
We'll have it all covered on racingbet.com.au. Good weekend to look forward to. It's the best meeting. I went live. I think I've been live maybe once or twice to the international meeting, and it's very good. Highly suggest it to anyone wanting to go. Very kind of different than Australian meetings. Like, it's just hardcore punters and like 90,000 of them.
Excellent.
So, yeah, anyway. All right, so plenty to look forward to. We thank tab.com.au for sponsoring this week's episode, and we look forward to joining you all again next Thursday night. All the best this weekend on the punt.